The Billionaire, the Village Woman, and the Unbreakable Bond. Welcome to Wise Stories. Please do remember to subscribe, like and share this video. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden glow over the quiet village surrounded by endless fields of wheat and tall palm trees swaying gently in the breeze. Dust clouds rose as Alexander Reed's sleek black car crawled along the bumpy dirt road, its glossy exterior already coated with a layer of village grime. He tapped impatiently on his steering wheel, glancing at the GPS, which had long since lost signal. "Fantastic," he muttered under his breath. "No service, no roads, and no idea where I am." Suddenly the car sputtered and came to a jerking halt. "You've got to be kidding me," Alexander groaned, stepping out in his polished leather shoes. The scent of earth and fresh crops filled the air, a stark contrast to the sterile skyscrapers and expensive colognes of his city life. A soft voice broke the silence. "Do you need help?" Alexander turned to see a woman approaching, balancing a basket of fruit on her hip. She wore a bright blue shower camise with a floral scarf draped over her head. Her presence was calm yet commanding. "Yeah, I could use some directions," Alexander replied, trying to mask his frustration. "This place isn't exactly mapped out." The woman raised an eyebrow. "You must be far from home. No city folk come this way without a reason." "I'm here on business," he said curtly. "Can you point me toward the village leader's house?" She gestured toward the distant path. "Walk straight until you see the big banyan tree. That's Elder Kadir's place." Alexander nodded. "Thanks." "Amina," she said simply. "Good luck, city man." As she walked away, Alexander sensed that the simplicity of this village might challenge him more than he had anticipated. The morning air was crisp as Amina guided Alexander through the bustling village market. "This is where the women bring fresh vegetables, spices, and handmade goods," she explained, her tone warm yet modest. Alexander nodded, his eyes scanning the vibrant scene. "It's impressive how everything runs so smoothly without all the tech and chaos of the city." Amina smiled. "Here, simplicity is our strength. We rely on tradition and community." Their growing ease with each other didn't go unnoticed. Whispers spread among villagers, eyes lingering longer than usual. Farouk, hauling sacks of grain nearby, clenched his fists as he watched his wife talking with Alexander. That evening, Farouk confronted Amina. "Why does that city man need your help so often?" he asked, voice heavy with tension. "I'm only showing him village customs, Farouk." "There's nothing more," Amina assured him firmly, though the strain between them was palpable. The full moon bathed the village in silver light as drums echoed through the air. Villagers gathered around the ancient banyan tree, where Elder Kadir stood with arms raised, chanting sacred verses. Amina and Alexander stood among them, uneasy but respectful. "Tonight, we seek the blessing of balance and harmony," Elder Kadir declared, his voice firm. "Let our hearts remain pure and our bonds unbroken." A gust of wind swept through the crowd as glowing embers rose from the ceremonial fire. Elder Kadir motioned for villagers to step forward, offering tokens of gratitude to the sacred flames. Amina hesitated but extended her hand, holding a simple flower. Without thinking, Alexander mirrored her gesture, offering a small silver coin from his pocket. The flames hissed and a golden light erupted, swirling around the pair. Gasps echoed through the crowd. "What is this?" Alexander shouted, shielding his eyes. Elder Kadir's face grew grim. "You have triggered an ancient bond, one formed by trust but misunderstood by the spirits." The golden threads wrapped around Amina and Alexander, linking their wrists. Villagers murmured in shock. "This is shameful," one elder woman whispered. "A curse," Elder Kadir confirmed. "Until resolved, neither of you can part ways." Amina's heart sank. "What does this mean for me, for my family?" Days passed, and the golden threads binding Alexander and Amina remained unbroken. They moved together through the village, each step drawing more judgment from the wary villagers. Amina kept her head high despite whispers and disapproving stares. "How do you stay so calm?" Alexander asked one afternoon as they sat by the river, watching the water flow. "Everyone here thinks I've ruined your life." "I know my truth," Amina said firmly. "I have nothing to be ashamed of. My loyalty is to my family and my community." Alexander stared at the water. "I thought money could solve anything," he admitted quietly. "But here, I feel powerless." Farouk, watching from a distance, clenched his jaw. But as he saw the weariness in Amina's eyes, his anger faltered. That night he approached her. "I've been unfair to you," he said softly. "This curse isn't your fault." Amina placed a hand over his. "We'll find a way through this together, Farouk." Under the banyan tree, Elder Kadir stood solemnly before Alexander, Amina and Farouk. The golden threads binding Amina and Alexander still shimmered faintly between them. The villagers gathered in tense silence. The spirits seek truth and forgiveness, Elder Kadir declared. Only then will the bond be broken. Alexander stepped forward, his voice steady. I've lived my life chasing wealth, thinking it would fill an emptiness inside me. But being here, I see that connection and meaning come from people, not possessions. Farouk, eyes heavy with guilt, spoke next. I let my pride blind me. I blamed you, Amina, when you were only doing what was right. I was wrong. Amina's gaze softened. Farouk, we've both faced hardship, but forgiveness is our strength. Elder Kadir raised his arms. Truth has been spoken and hearts have opened. The golden threads dissolved into light, vanishing into the night sky. The villagers murmured in awe, harmony restored at last. The village erupted in vibrant colors and joyful sounds as the community gathered to celebrate their newfound unity and hope. Alexander, once an outsider, was now welcomed with open arms. Farouk and Amina, hand in hand, smiled at Alexander. You've become one of us, Farouk said as Amina added, your heart is now pure. The villagers cheered and Alexander's eyes shone with gratitude.